What's up, Drops? Long time no see. Sorry, it's just me. It's not my dad today. And I'm also sorry that it's been a minute. Due to circumstances caused by my own doing, namely, I am essentially a giant rat and like to eat dumpster food. I had to very quickly and suddenly cut sugar out of my diet. So the giant rat in me did not really appreciate that. And therefore, you guys have not gotten any tasting videos because my feelings were hurt and I didn't want to just have coffee that didn't have sugar in it. So that being said, I've not completely cut back on my caffeine intake. And in my efforts to satiate my sweet tooth and also not eat sugar, hopefully, did I say hopefully this is temporary? Hopefully this is temporary. The rat in me still wants to eat sugar. So I came across this recipe. So while we are not really in a coffee shop today, we are actually in my house. We're not in a coffee shop. This seemed like a moment that really should be, documented. So as I'm researching and finding different ways to get my caffeine, I came across this recipe for coffee. It's called coffee jelly, but I think it's like coffee jello jiggler, but it's that's not what it's called. It's called coffee jelly. And apparently it's a popular Japanese dessert or just Japanese thing. I don't know if it's technically a dessert. But apparently in Japan, and if you've actually been to Japan, you can correct me if I'm wrong or you can affirm. They have it in the grocery stores, cafes, like pretty much everywhere there. So I decided to make some last night, and it has to sit for at least 5 hours. So it was really hard to make it last night and have to wait all night to try it. But I doubled the recipe, and instead of putting sugar in it, I used a maple, and I used espresso powder, and I had to do math because on the jar it says 1 tablespoon of espresso powder for 3 tablespoons of water. The recipe called for 2 cups of water. So I Googled and it said there are 16 tablespoons in a cup. So if I did my math right, I doubled the recipe, I used 4 cups. So if I did my math right, I used 16 tablespoons of espresso powder for the entire batch. Is that right? Did I do that math right? A little weak?
Yeah.
How you figure?
1 cup of 16.
Yeah. And it was 1 tablespoon of espresso powder for 4 tablespoons of water.
Oh, okay.
So that's right?
Yeah.
Okay. I did the math right. So, like when I opened it this morning, it smelled very strong. That being said, I also did the math, and I think this should be about equal. I put it in 6 containers, so it should be about 3 shots of espresso's worth of espresso in each serving. So that's not ridiculous, even though it smells really strong. So anyway, this is it. Coffee jelly, and I think in Japan, like they might drizzle a little condensed milk if they have that. If that's what they call it there, probably not. And sorry, I humored myself in my head. I thought of making up a Japanese sounding word for what they would say. I don't know any Japanese. So anyway, I'm just having it black this morning. So I feel like I want to keep talking because I'm a little scared to try it. But let's just go ahead and dig into our coffee jelly, and I will let you know what I think. Moshi moshi.
Really have hurt feelings.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You want to try one?
Right now.
Okay. You know what? It tastes like instant coffee jello. There's no getting around it. I was really hoping the instant espresso wasn't cheap. So I was hoping that it tasted better than instant coffee. And I've been putting it in my banana and cocoa powder smoothie every morning. So in the banana and cocoa powder smoothie, the espresso, flavors masked a little more. Here, it just is what it is, and it tastes like, you know what? It's not bad. That's just what it tastes like. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and enjoy my instant coffee jello. And if you have an amazing espresso maker at your house, then you should make some delicious espresso and definitely make some. Oh, I will tell you something else I read in the reviews was they doubled the amount of gelatin that the recipe called for. So I did that too. And I mean, as far as the texture goes, I mean, I think that's what you'd be going for. I've never had it in Japan, but it is like the consistency of Jello jigglers or something like that. And I would think that's what you would want. So if anybody's ever, and I do have cousins, not that they're watching my channel, who are, I think, actually in Japan and have lived in Japan before, but they're in Japan right now. So if they happen to watch this coffee video, they can tell us in the comments below if they've actually had real coffee jelly from Japan, and if it's firm like a Jello juggler, or if it's more Jello-ish. So let's give this old guy a name. I think that due to how this looks on the spoon and the sad predicament that I'm in
Highlight.
right now, we're going to name this guy Templeton. All right, drips. I hope y'all have a great day. And hopefully, one way or another, we'll get you guys a new coffee review soon. Have a great one.